Hello and welcome to Channel 2S. I'm your host, Second Soundwave. I have just finished building the pretty awesome Master Grade UMA Lightning's Gogen High Mobility type, but that's not the subject of today's video because today we're going to be looking at some Gunpla news. So my plan was to start this video off by talking about how awesome the Perfect Grade Red Frame Kai is and how it's basically the biggest, coolest thing that's been announced this week, but then Bandai dropped this picture earlier today. And the title of Coolest News of the Week has officially been transferred to this picture. If you don't recognize this frame, this is the frame for a Master Grade Jegan. Around 2012-2013, Bandai released a Master Grade Gyaradoga, and it was a pretty awesome model. When the Gyaradoga was announced, everyone was expecting the Jegan to not be far behind, so they waited for it, and waited for it, and waited for it, and waited for it. And now they're finally getting one. There's not a whole lot we can tell from the frame right now. It's a very, very rough 3D printed prototype, so this is probably a kit we're not going to be getting for a few months. Really, the only thing we can tell for sure is that the frame is completely new. It's going to be pretty awesome to finally see the Jegan getting the Master Grade kit people have been waiting for, and really, when I kind of stand back and look at it, we've gotten some great Master Grades in the last few years. Well, okay, maybe not the Banshee Verka, which coincidentally is the next kit we're going to be talking about because there is box art and finalized images and all that stuff for this kit, and really who cares? Whatever, let's just move on. Now let's talk about the Perfect Grade Red Frame Kai. This was a pretty surprising release for me. I wasn't expecting to see this. This is a premium Bandai upgrade to the Perfect Grade Red Frame ASTRAY. It ditches the backpack, it ditches the rifle, and it ditches the shield, but in exchange he gets a massive tactical arms and a second katana. The back's been retooled to accommodate the new swords, and it looks like the thighs have been modified to some degree as well. The tactical arms is a very imposing weapon with several different combat configurations. You can bring the claws over his shoulders, you can attach the whole thing to his arm, you can turn it into a flight unit, it can become a bow and arrow, and of course it can just be a regular old sword. This is a premium Bandai release, but like the XN Riser, like the Turn Red ASTRAY, this is getting a North American release. Bluefin has gotten their hands on this kit, and you can find it at your US retailer of choice for around $260. We are very quickly closing in on the release of the Master Grade Deep Striker, so of course we've got some box art for it, and it is some pretty awesome looking box art. I like what they did with the background on this. I think it's pretty clever that they made it look kind of like a holographic simulation. Since the whole thing with the Deep Striker is that it was never actually made as a mobile suit, the whole thing was just like a concept weapon system. So I think it's really cool that they chose to acknowledge that in the box art instead of just putting him in some generic space battle. We have unpainted pictures of it, as we usually do. There is a lot of white on this model. The cannon especially, I'm not super impressed with. I would have liked to have seen a little more separation, but considering the size of this model, I'm willing to cut him a little slack. We have an all-new premium Bandai announcement in the form of the Jegan Tewas colors. This is something that I had a pretty good suspicion we were going to get eventually, although I was expecting it to be packed with the Tewas colors Hugo. It would have made sense considering the pattern of the last few premium Bandai releases we've gotten from Iron-Blooded Orphans, but it's just as well that they released the Jegan on its own, since many people will no doubt want to just get the Jegan. There appears to be no new tooling of any kind on this model. It is just a straight recolor of the normal Jegan, so if you can't get your hands on one, you're not missing out on much. The Master Grade Jinx 3, on the other hand, is a pretty heavy mod of the original Jinx. New chest parts, new arm parts, new weapons. They did a pretty good job with this one. Of all the Jinxes we've gotten recently out of the Master Grade line, this is the one that I would most like to have seen at retail. While it is just a grunt suit, it did see a lot of use in the second season of the show. Here's some more pictures of the Master Grade Deep Striker. They got me really excited when I first saw them. I saw these pictures and I thought, oh cool, they're going to be including like legs and excess Gundam parts for the Deep Striker, so you can put those on the upper body and make yourself a full red XS Gundam. Then I talked to somebody who can actually read Japanese, and he told me that the article attached to these images basically is just saying that you can swap on the old XS parts onto the new torso. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer. I'm not even sure why they're advertising this, since it seems like it would be kind of a given. So on the Dengeki Hobby side of things, we have some more snap-built images for the Crossbone Gundam X0. We can get a clearer look at how the sort of finish of this kit's going to look. It's kind of like what they did with the Hyakushiki Revive, where it's just bare plastic that kind of has a metallic look to it. Now, it's my opinion that this kind of plastic doesn't look as bad when it's silver as opposed to gold, but I could see how some people might be turned off by the way this kit looks. So the AGEI-MAGNUM just released a couple days ago, so these pictures are a little bit out of date, but here's some Dengeki Hobby snap-built images of the AGEI-MAGNUM. You can see it from the front, you can see it from the back, you can see it in the flight mode, which I now realize I never showed you when I showed you the initial images of this kit. And all around, it looks like a really fun model. We also have box art for it as well. This is the sort of final version of the box art that they're going to be using for later production runs. but the earlier versions of the kit will use the box art that I've showed you before with the big sticker plastered over the front advertising the show, which I think looks kind of tacky, but at the end of the day it is just box art. Speaking of box art, here's some more box art for the LOHENG-RINKO. It's exactly what you probably expected when you saw the kit. And higher resolution box art for the Blue Destiny Unit 3. Really cool looking box art. I do love that effect that they've been using on these Blue Destiny kits. It makes them look absolutely awesome. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll be seeing you soon with a review of the Master Grade Uma Lightning Custom, as well as another very fun video that I'll be bringing to you hopefully tomorrow. As always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new for more cool Gunpla stuff, and as always, I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.